Billion-Dollar Whale by Tom Wright and Bradley Hope is a gripping account of one of the most audacious financial frauds in history, masterminded by Malaysian financier Jho Low. The book unravels the shocking details of how Low orchestrated a multi-billion-dollar heist through Malaysia's sovereign wealth fund, 1MDB, deceiving governments, banks, and investors while living a life of unimaginable luxury. His rise from an ambitious student to a global conman is a story of unchecked ambition, political corruption, and the systemic failures of the financial system. Jho Low, born into a wealthy but relatively obscure Malaysian Chinese family, had an early fascination with the ultra-rich. While studying at the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania, he developed a talent for networking, befriending Middle Eastern royals and wealthy elites. His ability to build influential relationships would later become the foundation of his fraudulent empire. He convinced powerful figures that he had access to billions in investment capital, gaining their trust and positioning himself as a financial mastermind. His grand scheme began with the establishment of 1MDB, a sovereign wealth fund originally intended to drive economic development in Malaysia. Although he had no official position within the fund, Low manipulated its operations from behind the scenes, using complex financial structures, shell companies, and offshore accounts to siphon billions of dollars meant for national investment projects. His ability to exploit regulatory loopholes and forge key political alliances allowed him to maintain the illusion of legitimacy. Low's ties to then-Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak were crucial to his scheme. Through promises of economic growth and political donations, Low secured the backing of Malaysia's leadership. In reality, he funneled vast sums of money out of 1MDB, using it to fund his extravagant lifestyle while keeping the Prime Minister and other officials complicit in his activities. The scandal ultimately implicated some of the world's biggest financial institutions, including Goldman Sachs, which played a role in raising funds for 1MDB. With billions at his disposal, Low indulged in an unparalleled spree of excess. He purchased luxury real estate in cities like New York, London, and Los Angeles, acquired a $250 million superyacht and spent millions on artworks, including pieces by Monet and Basquiat. He also ingratiated himself into Hollywood, financing major films like The Wolf of Wall Street and throwing extravagant parties attended by Leonardo DiCaprio, Miranda Kerr, and other celebrities. His lavish spending drew attention, but his web of deception kept authorities at bay for years. Despite red flags, global banks and financial institutions largely ignored the warning signs, blinded by the promise of profit. Large sums of money moved through Swiss and American banks with little scrutiny. Jho Low used financial secrecy jurisdictions, such as the Cayman Islands, to launder stolen funds, highlighting the vulnerabilities of the global financial system. His ability to evade detection for so long was a testament to how easily money could be hidden and manipulated at the highest levels. The book follows the investigative efforts of journalists and whistleblowers who began piecing together the massive fraud. Tom Wright and Bradley Hope meticulously detail how reporters, regulators, and law enforcement agencies from multiple countries worked to unravel the truth. Their investigation exposed not just Low's personal crimes but the larger issue of systemic corruption that enabled such financial crimes to flourish. As scrutiny intensified, international authorities, including the U.S. Department of Justice, launched investigations into 1MDB. Legal action led to the freezing of billions in assets, and in 2018, the scandal played a crucial role in the downfall of Najib Razak's government. Razak was later arrested and convicted of corruption, while Jho Low went into hiding, reportedly seeking refuge in China and other countries to avoid extradition. The book paints Low as a modern-day Gatsby, a man who created a fictional version of himself to gain access to the world's elite. However, unlike Gatsby, his wealth was not a mystery but a product of brazen fraud. His ability to manipulate financial and political systems on a global scale demonstrated how power and money are deeply intertwined, often beyond the reach of law enforcement. Beyond the thrilling narrative, Billion-Dollar Whale serves as a warning about the perils of unchecked financial power. It exposes the weaknesses in global finance that allowed such a fraud to occur, pointing out the complicity of banks, auditors, and regulators who failed to stop the crime despite clear signs of misconduct. The book argues that financial crimes of this scale are rarely the work of a single mastermind but rather a network of enablers and institutions that benefit from looking the other way. One of the most striking aspects of the story is the ease with which Low moved stolen funds across borders. His ability to maintain a jet-setting lifestyle while under investigation underscores the challenge of enforcing financial accountability in a world where money can be easily transferred through offshore entities. Even when authorities took action, much of the stolen wealth had already disappeared into hidden accounts and luxury assets scattered across multiple countries. Despite the legal repercussions, Low remains at large, and much of the stolen money has yet to be recovered. His continued evasion of justice is a testament to the limitations of international law enforcement when dealing with high-level financial crimes. The book suggests that unless stricter regulations and oversight are implemented, similar scandals will continue to occur, with new fraudsters taking advantage of the same loopholes. While Billion Dollar Whale is a meticulously researched investigative piece, it reads like a financial thriller, keeping readers engaged with its fast-paced storytelling and shocking revelations. The authors make complex financial transactions accessible, breaking down the mechanics of fraud in a way that both experts and general readers can understand. The book is not just about one man's deception but a broader indictment of the global financial system that allowed it to happen. At its core, the story of Jho Low is a reflection of modern capitalism's excesses, where wealth, influence, and power can be built on deception, and justice is often slow to catch up. Billion Dollar Whale is a must-read for anyone interested in finance, politics, or the mechanisms of fraud, offering a cautionary tale of how unchecked greed and corruption can upend entire economies.